We have with us Joey Piscitelli, who I learned about just by reading old news stories. Joey Piscitelli is a general contractor, but more than that, he's been a leader for 20 years with Survivors Network of those abused by priests. Joey Piscitelli, I can see the Golden Gate Bridge behind you. You're a man from the San Francisco area. You've had experience with Kamala Harris as DA, as Attorney General, as Senator, and so forth. Tell the American people a little bit about your story and about your experience in trying to draw the attention of Kamala Harris.
Well, I first filed a lawsuit against the church for being molested as a child. And the priest who had molested me was a priest from San Francisco. And I went to San Francisco with other victims before Kamala Harris was DA. And we talked to the district attorney named Terrence Hellinon. And Terrence Hellinon had accumulated files, lots of files on sex abusers in the church that he had subpoenaed and gathered through investigations. And he was going after them full force. Kamala Harris beat him in early 2004 as the new district attorney. So the files were in her care then. So we immediately started contacting her, asking her if she'd release the names in those files or release the complaints that were in the files, because there were a number of people who had filed suit against predators, and we wanted them held accountable. She ignored us, and we started protesting at her office, and she kept ignoring us. The press started contacting her and saying, are you going to release these files? What are you doing about these predators, etc.? And she ignored them. This went on for a long time, and my suit was going to court jury trial. So the priest who had molested me was in San Francisco working as a pastor at a church and school with access to children. So I wrote her again and said, I'm actively suing this man for child molestation, and he's with kids now, and so are a number of other clergy and teachers who have molested kids. You need to do something about this. And she kept ignoring it. So they kept the priest in ministry, and a number of us would protest at her office in San Francisco. We passed out flyers, virtually begging her to do something. She kept ignoring us. The press contacted her and said, why aren't you releasing these files and these names? And her answer was that she was protecting the victims. Well, I'm one of those victims, and she wasn't protecting the victims because the victims' names are redacted from the files and the claims. The only names that appear are those that are the predators. She was shielding them in our eyes, and we couldn't understand why. One thing, she wasn't prosecuting them, she wasn't investigating them, she wasn't releasing their names, and she kept shielding them, and we couldn't understand that.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.